Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. City. I can choose at the god level. 5 years ago, Chu Feng came to this parallel world and became the richest son of Yangcheng. Encountering a cold and beautiful woman crying loudly at the entrance of the hospital, Chu Feng stepped forward to comfort her and developed a romantic relationship. 5 years later, Chu Feng unexpectedly discovered that the CEO of the company he was applying for was actually the cold and aloof beauty from 5 years ago. He also discovered that the CEO had given birth to 6 daughters who were carved in powder and jade. My daughter needs to be well fed. What should we do if our family has already gone bankrupt? At critical moments, activate the divine level selection system. Daughter calls her father and receives a divine choice of 1 billion soft girl coins. 2. A Fortune 500 company. Take your daughter to see giant pandas and get a divine choice. 1. Understand the language of animals. 2. A divine pet that can evolve, upgrade, and transform into a human. Chu Feng. President, let's have 10 more nests. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. The Ultimate Canary. President. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Chu Xiao, look at that top-notch beauty over there. Just as he came out of a top club, a person next to Chu Feng flattered his wealthy second generation and suddenly reminded him. What top-notch beauty? We've seen so many flight attendants, models, and celebrities in the club. Chu Feng had already seen countless top-notch beauties in the eyes of ordinary people. Chu Feng is not from this world, he originally lived on Earth. When I wake up, I cross into this parallel world. And it was wearing clothes that replaced people with the same name and surname who looked very similar to him in this world, becoming the only son of Chu Tianhao, the richest man in Yangcheng. So, Chu Feng began to live the dry and satisfying life of the top wealthy second generation in the upper class society, indulging in extravagance. After becoming a top-tier second generation wealthy man, he finally realized that in the eyes of most people, goddesses are seasonings that wealthy people can easily use and toss around. For some so-called top-notch beauties, Chu Feng is also somewhat dismissive. However, in a state of boredom, he instinctively turned his head to look. Across the street, at the entrance of Ivy League Hospital, one of the top private hospitals in the country, stood a tall and cold beauty with long legs. The beautiful woman has a pretty face with frosty frost, her big eyes moist, and her slender 10 fingers clenched into fists. Then, she held her phone and made a few phone calls. At this moment, the wealthy second generation next to Chu Feng flattered and said, "Brother Chu, how are you? Are you a top-notch beauty? I have asked someone to check her information. She is the #1 campus flower of the university city, Lu Qingcheng. She is very clean and urgently needs money now. Next, Chu Xiao, you will be able to easily capture it." The wealthy second generation gave Chu Feng a look that even a man could understand, and Chu Feng waved his hand to let him go. To be honest, Chu Feng has seen many models and flight attendants, who are clean and beautiful top-notch beauties. They couldn't help but be amazed. At this moment, Lu Qingcheng suddenly burst into tears. At this moment, the appearance of heartbroken and crying is even more pitiful to me. Chu Feng smiled and walked over directly. "Hi beautiful woman, what does squatting on the roadside look like with such long legs? Not pedaling 3 rounds is really a waste." Chu Feng has been indulging in extravagance and drinking for a while now, and dealing with such inexperienced girls is simply a matter of the King of Glory striking bronze. The next day, Chu Feng woke up from the presidential suite at the Shangri-La Hotel, looking at the cold and aloof beauty beside him, with tears still hanging from the corners of his eyes. The bright marks on the cloth sheet made Chu Feng feel happy. Crossing into a parallel world and becoming the only son of the richest man in Yangcheng. Although there is no activation system, Chu Feng is still very satisfied with his current life. Lu Qingqing beside her, her long eyelashes trembling. Chu Feng smiled and patted her pretty face, which could be broken by blowing bullets. At the same time, take out a bank card. There's 1 million in this card, so you'll stay here from now on. I'll come find you when I have time. What do you treat me like? Lu Qingqing was extremely angry. She was in a bad mood yesterday and couldn't help but drink too much at night. Yesterday's incident has already passed, and she knows she was also at fault. It's too late to say anything now. She shed tears at the corners of her eyes and glared fiercely at Chu Feng, quickly putting on her clothes. Money. Count it as what I borrowed from you, repay it to you in the future, don't come to me again. Time flies for 5 years. In these 5 years, Chu Feng has gone through many experiences. His father, Chu Tianhao, the richest man in Yangcheng, failed his business and went bankrupt. Although there is no debt, there is also no money left. Watching parents put down their pride and start working, preparing to make a comeback. Chu Feng no longer indulges in extravagance and starts looking for a job on his own. Today is the day for the interview at Qingqing Beauty Clothing Company. The first 2 rounds of interviews were all fine. In the final round, Chu Feng, who needs to apply for the position of general manager, enters the CEO's office and accepts a personal interview from the CEO. Chu Feng and 2 other job seekers who were applying for the position of general manager walked into the office of the president of Qingqing Clothing Company together. He looked at the beautiful CEO, who was looking at the contract with his head down, and couldn't help but brighten his eyes. Although your family has gone bankrupt and indulged in extravagance and drinking for a long time, Chu Feng can even be called a reading woman. It can be seen from the same that the CEO of the company is a top-notch beauty. The only one that can be compared to it is probably the cold and aloof beauty from 5 years ago. Thinking of the cold and aloof beauty Lu Qingqing, Chu Feng suddenly felt more and more familiar with the beautiful CEO sitting in his office. At this moment, the beautiful CEO looked up. Hello, I am Lu Qingqing, the president of Qingqing Beauty Clothing Company. Next, I will ask you a few questions. At this point, Lu Qingqing suddenly froze. She looked at Chu Feng and forgot to speak for a moment. Lu Qingqing's secretary Xiaoya whispered a reminder to the side, and it was only then that Lu Qingqing realized. You 2 go back first, Xiaoya, you also go out, Chu Feng, you stay. P.S. I hope the old iron workers like it. Looking for flower evaluation support, the author is extremely grateful. Author June is so miserable. He originally collected 10,000 on the first day, but was reported by other authors who were envious and needed to resend the book. Ask the old irons to continue to support the humble authors. Author, thank you. Chapter 2 Divine Choice. I have 6 daughters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, in the stylishly decorated CEO's office, only Chu Feng and Lu Qingqing remained. I didn't expect you to be doing well now. I even searched for you several times back then, but unfortunately I couldn't find it. Chu Feng crossed his legs and looked at the woman in front of him with an appreciative gaze. To be honest, Chu Feng has seen many beautiful women. But there are indeed no top-notch beauties like Lu Qingqing who amaze him with their cleanliness. Although now, Chu Feng's family has gone bankrupt. There is no way to spend money like before. However, for the CEO of the company he was looking for and the woman he used to be, Chu Feng did not want to appear reserved. The big deal is being kicked out of the company by the Canary that I originally wanted to raise, mocking a few words. Having experienced a lot of Chu culture in the past 5 years, I have become accustomed to seeing all kinds of things in the world. Those wealthy second-generation people who flattered themselves had long avoided themselves. Some even secretly choreographed and even directly ridiculed. Chu Feng's current mentality has become very indifferent. However, what Chu Feng did not expect was that the aloof and beautiful CEO in front of him did not mock him. She hesitated to speak, and finally said, "I knew you were looking for me at the time, and I deliberately avoided you." Lu Qingqing rubbed against it and stood up. A pair of rice-dead people are not worth their lives, or rather, not pedaling 3 wheels is a waste of their long legs. With elegant steps, he walked towards Chu Feng. She handed Chu Feng a bank card. "This bank card is the 1 million you gave me back then. My mother was seriously ill and urgently needed medical expenses. You saved my mother with this 1 million. I also have some reasons for what happened back then, and you can be considered as saving my mother." At this moment, Lu Qingqing once again took out a bank card. "I also know about your family's situation. There are 2 million in the card, take it with you." Chu Feng smiled and said, "Why, are you making me your canary?" Lu Qingqing shook his head and said, "Don't think too much, I just want to end our relationship. I hope you don't show up in front of me again with these 2 million. Chu Feng has gone through a lot, and now when he looks at people, he can also see some situations. He could feel that Lu Qingqing was hesitant to speak to him. There seems to be something I want to say, but I don't want to say it." Just as Chu Feng felt strange, Lu Qingqing's phone rang in front of him. "Chu Feng, please leave and don't appear in front of me again." Chu Feng stood up, towering over him, and saw Lu Qingqing's mobile phone displaying the 6 treasure girls. "What are you looking at? Hurry up and get out." The panicked appearance of Lu Qingqing further confirmed Chu Feng's previous speculation. What secret is this beautiful CEO keeping from herself? At this moment, the door made a thumping sound. Dong dong dong. Dong dong, very rhythmic. Chu Feng noticed that at this moment, Lu Qingqing's expression became even more panicked. "I'll go open the door, I happen to be leaving." Chu Feng walked over and opened the door. He saw a 4 or 5-year-old girl with 2 ponytails. Pink carved jade carving, cute and clever, so cute. At this moment, with big eyes open, he looked curiously at Chu Feng, who opened the door. Uncle, are you our dad? Mom said our dad will come to see us soon, but he hasn't come for so long. I feel like Uncle is so kind. You're our dad, right?" Lu Qingqing walked quickly and hugged her daughter. "Girl, don't shout blindly, this is not your father." "Alright, Chu Feng, hurry up and leave now." The little girl with a pink carving and jade carving tilted her head and looked at Chu Feng. "Dad. Aren't you really our dad?" Suddenly, a pleasant voice rang out in Chu Feng's mind. "Ding dong. Host, congratulations, you have activated the divine level selection system. In system binding. 1%. 35%. 65%. The system binding is 100% successful. The girl calls your father, verifies if the other person is really her own daughter, and obtains a divine level choice. 1 billion soft sister coins. 2. A Fortune 500 company." At this moment, Chu Feng was a bit confused. This little girl with powder carving and jade carving feels very familiar to Chu Feng. Chu Feng also has the same feeling. Is it possible that this is the strange feeling of blood being thicker than water and bones being connected? Coincidentally, Lu Qingqing has been hesitant to speak. It seems to have further verified this point. Can we say that this lovely little loli is her own daughter? Chu Win shocking, surprise. Even the suddenly activated divine level selection system was not heard clearly. "Nan, Mom has already said, this is not your dad, don't shout at people anymore." Chu Feng approached and glared at Lu Qingqing, "Don't be so cruel to children." After a pause, Chu Feng said to the little loli in Lu Qingqing's arms again. "Girl, tell me, how old are you this year?" "I'm 4 years old this year." That night 5 years ago, the child is now 4 years old. Chu Feng was suddenly taken aback and said urgently. Girl, what day is your birthday? My 5 sisters and I all have birthdays on August 8th. Time is right. Do I have 6 daughters? P.S. Looking for flower evaluation support. Chapter 3. The Man Who Obtained the Chairman of Yida Company. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Lu Qingqing's expression was complex, and she hugged the girl and walked out of the office directly. For Chu Feng, who was shocked and surprised on the side, he pretended not to see it. Daughters, seeing others have dads. I have already asked her for my dad many times. However, she was furious at the thought that Chu Feng had given her a bank card and wanted to treat her like a canary. Suppressed the urge to find Chu Feng from the bottom of my heart. At this point, it seems that Chu Feng has changed a lot, but his inherent beliefs are difficult to change. Lu Qingqing would rather work hard alone with 6 children than have a bad father for them. She came driving with the child in her arms and soon discovered that the nanny had gone to the restroom. Sisterly, didn't I say not to bring children to the company? I'm sorry, CEO, I. Before she could speak, the girl in Lu Qingqing's arms said. Mom, it's not Aunt Lee's fault. It's the girl herself who insisted on making a fuss to find her mother. The girl is in the community and has encountered Xiaopeng. Xiaopeng is saying again that we are children without a father. As the girl spoke, she struggled to hold back the tears in her eyes, preventing the crystal-clear tears from falling. Sorry Mom, the girl has made Mom angry again. Girl, it's my mother's fault. Thinking of the hardships of these years and the hardships that my 6 daughters have endured with me over the years. This beautiful CEO, who has always been strong and noble, rarely reveals her delicate side. She knew it was because she happened to meet her daughter's father today. This is what made her persistent and strong all along, unable to maintain it. Girl, let's go. Mom will take you home. In the office. In Chu Feng's mind, he once again heard the pleasant sound of the system. He finally realized that he had been in this parallel world for 5 years. When little Loli called out to her father, she actually activated the God-level selection system. The girl calls your father, verifies if the other person is really her own daughter, and obtains a divine-level choice. 1 billion soft sister coins. 2. A Fortune 500 company. The system tells Chu Feng that after making a selection, he will receive the selected reward. 1 billion soft sister coins. The assets of Chu Feng's family 5 years ago were more than 1 billion. His father Chu Tianhao, as the richest man in Yangcheng, naturally has a value of several billion yuan. But now, it has gone bankrupt. Although there are no assets, there is also no debt. However, both parents are working hard, attempting to make a comeback and prepare to leave a strong family background for Chu Feng. If there were 1 billion soft girl coins, Chu Feng believed in relying on his father's ability. Not only can it make a comeback, but it can even go further. However, when Chu Feng saw the second option, he became even more excited. A Fortune 500 company. Although not one of the world's top 500, the value of the domestic top 500 is at least over 10 billion. With such a sharp contrast, Chu Feng naturally knew how to choose. System, I choose a company in the Fortune 500. Ding dong. Host, congratulations. You have been awarded the title of Yida Plaza Investment Company, one of the top 500 companies in China. Surprisingly, it's Yida Plaza Investment Company. Chu Feng knows about this company. It is one of the top 100 real estate investment companies in China, with a value exceeding 100 billion yuan. 5 years ago, when his father Chu Tianhao was still the richest man in Yangcheng, he had many collaborations with Yida Plaza Investment Company. Chu Feng also had several meals with the company manager. 5 years ago, the wealthy second generation who reminded Chu Feng Hospital that there were top-notch beauties at the entrance was the nephew of the general manager of the Yangcheng branch of Yida Plaza Investment Company. Host, in terms of procedures, it is currently being processed and will take approximately 1 to 3 hours. Chu Feng was not in a hurry either. After 5 years of ups and downs, he also became much more calm. Besides, now Chu Feng has something more important to do. Chu Feng rushed out of the office and happened to see Lu Qingqing, along with her daughter and nanny, enter the elevator. He didn't want to, but immediately rushed into the nearby elevator. Not long after, we arrived downstairs. Looking at Lu Qingqing holding her daughter, not far away. "Mom, don't cry. It's all because girls are not good. Girls always make their mothers angry." Lu Qingqing shook his head and said, "Silly child, it's none of your business. Mom just had sand in her eyes." "There's sand in your eyes, it's not a small matter. I'll help you blow it." Chu Feng took a few steps forward, holding Lu Qingqing's exquisitely beautiful face that could be broken by blowing bullets in both hands, undoubtedly blowing her eyes. Lu Qingqing, with a complex mood, stood still without refusing for a moment. Not far away, the 2 job seekers who were interviewing with Chu Feng looked bewildered. "Sleeping slot. That kid is amazing. It seems like a man who not only became the general manager, but also became the chairman. Oh my goodness, what is he doing in broad daylight? P.S. The first day of the new book is very important. I hope the old irons can give me some comments on flowers. Author, thank you." Chapter 4. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. I dare not. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chu Feng held Lu Qingqing's pretty face and helped her blow her eyes. Originally, Lu Qingqing was not really blinded by the sandstorms, and Chu Feng also understood this. Looking at the beautiful face just in front of me. Those big eyes, with sparkling tears hanging from the corners of their eyes. His eyes are filled with stubbornness, strength, gentleness, and nobility. 5 years ago, she was the most beautiful girl that Chu Feng had ever seen, clean and beautiful, stunning. 5 years later today, she has shed some childishness and her temperament has become even more noble. It gives people a feeling of being towering and unattainable. Chu Feng held Lu Qingqing's pretty face, although it had not yet been truly verified whether he really had 6 biological daughters. But in his heart, he already believed most of it. Just take some time, take the girl's hair, and go to the parent.child testing center to find out the truth. Of course, with the emergence of the system, Lu Qingqing's desire to speak was silenced, and his blood was thicker than the intimacy of water, bones, and flesh. All of this, combined, has been confirmed 95%. The final paternity test is only 100% certain. Moreover, it is worth mentioning that the system has informed Chu Feng that the divine level selection of the system offers very generous rewards. By making a choice, one can receive rewards. However, it is best to complete tasks related to one's own choices, to avoid affecting the next divine level selection. The first divine choice was because the girl called Chu Feng dad. Chu Feng needs to verify whether it is his biological daughter. This is very simple, doing it won't delay anything, and I am more at ease. At this moment, Chu Feng was amazed by the beautiful woman who had amazed him 5 years ago and even more so 5 years later. Looking at her with her eyes slightly closed, her long eyelashes trembling slightly. Cute, beautiful, noble, charming Chu Feng held Lu Qingqing's pretty face and couldn't help but bow down. Not far away, those 2 guys who are looking for jobs together are even more confused. We were originally job seekers together, but the 2 of us didn't apply for a job. However, Chu Feng snatched the job, and even the beautiful CEO was won in a short time. This guy, the immortals from there. Aunt Li, the nanny of Lu Qingqing, widened her eyes in disbelief. She knows that there are many people who usually pursue pleasing the CEO. But CEO Lu Qingqing has never had close contact with any other man. Not even a handshake. But now, this handsome and extraordinary man. Surprisingly holding Lu Qingqing's face, blowing her eyes, and even kissing her. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. I can't imagine it. The girl, held diagonally by Lu Qingqing in her arms, blinked her big eyes as she wore a pair of ponytails and a pink carved jade figurine. She looked at Chu Feng and then at her own mother. I looked at my mother and then at Chu Feng. Just now, she was sad and upset because of her mother's tears. At this moment, she snorted and laughed out loud. Hee, Dad. Dad. The voice of the girl in her ear made Lu Qingqing wake up like a dream. She quickly pushed Chu Feng away and forced herself to remain calm. Chu Feng, you go, forget it, let me go. Lu Qingqing greeted his daughter Nan and Nanny Antly, and walked towards the distance in a flustered state. It's more like running away than running away. Chu Feng pursed his lips and smiled slightly. Where is my woman going to escape? By the way, Nan said she still has 5 sisters, which means she is the 6th. I don't know, how do my other daughters look? Having my excellent genes, I think they should all be extremely excellent. The more Chu Feng smiled, the happier he became, and in the end, he even burst out laughing. The 2 men who were looking for jobs together came forward one after another. Brother, you're amazing. Lu Qingqing is famous for her aloofness. Even the manager of Yida Square invited her to dinner together at night, and she refused it no less than 10 times. She doesn't even glance at some excellent men who pursue her. Brother, how on earth did you do it? Can you teach us a trick? In the future, when applying for jobs, we can also get the job together with the beautiful CEO. Chu Feng smiled mysteriously. He casually said a few words, dismissed the 2, and then chased towards the direction where Lu Qingqing had left. P.S. The first day of the new book is very important. If the old iron workers feel that they must support them. A flower, an evaluation, a comment, a reward, all are great support for the author Jun Mo. Chapter 5. A group of wealthy people who enjoy their lives. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Qingqing Beauty Clothing Company of Yangcheng is located in the bustling Yida Square on Chaoyang Road. Yida Square, covering a vast area and bustling with people, is prosperous and developed. Chu Feng did not directly pursue the 3 of Lu Qingqing. Anyway, Chu Feng now knows that his woman from 5 years ago was the beautiful CEO of the beautiful woman in the city. And she also gave birth to 6 daughters for herself. I have both a woman and a daughter, I can't run away. Lu Qing City, gave birth to 6 at once, it's really possible. Speaking of which, it's also magical. After giving birth to 6 daughters, I can't believe my figure is still so good. It's unbelievable. TSK, but this is even better. Chu Feng watched as Lu Qingqing led his little daughter towards the pedestrian street. It seems that he doesn't intend to take a car and leave immediately, which is more in line with Chu Feng's wishes. Chu Feng followed calmly, while also examining the Yida Square. Just one Yida Plaza is worth a lot. However, Yida Plaza Investment Company has invested and built hundreds of Yida Squares across the country. Basically, every first-tier city has Yida Plaza. Some first-tier cities even have several. Yida Plaza Investment Company has grown from a small company to a larger one. The value has increased significantly every year, and now it has exceeded hundreds of billions. Quickly, the system procedures were completed, and the over 100 billion yuan worth of Yida Plaza belongs to me. Just thinking about it makes people look forward to it. But now, I look forward to it even more. The 6 daughters of Fendiao Yuzhua are all shouting "Daddy" around me. That scene must be very interesting. After a moment, Chu Feng followed the 3 of Lu Qingqing and entered the pedestrian street. This pedestrian street is a place specialized in selling luxury goods. Chanel, Edmonton, Hermès, Louis Vuitton LV. As the son of the richest man in Yangcheng, Chu Feng naturally came to such a place. Back then, his clothes, shoes, socks, and watches were all from these brands. However, as the family's business investment failed, they went bankrupt. Chu Feng gradually stopped coming to these places. At this moment, Chu Feng felt a sense of returning to his old place. Well, I've bought a few watches from this Yangcheng.Encountering store. At the Chanel store, I sent the little star perfume. Hermès specialty store has bought some clothes and shoes. The women in these specialty stores are very young and beautiful. I just crossed over here and became the son of the richest man, spending money like earth and indulging in extravagance. In these specialty stores, women dressed in professional attire, with good physique, appearance, and temperament can be called beautiful women. For Chu Feng, this big customer, it's called enthusiasm. Chu Feng still remembers the coquettishness and charm of a woman handing him water to drink. However, Chu Feng has not yet understood the meaning. Later, along with some other wealthy second-generation individuals, we went to the entrance of major universities and placed water bottles on the roof of luxury cars. Only then did we remember some special meanings. Chu Feng also remembers the various customs of the female manager at Hermès kneeling at his feet while putting shoes on him. It's still the life of wealthy people in the past, dry, lacking in flavor and criticism. After thinking about the past, Chu Feng stopped thinking too much. Turn around this pedestrian street and there are some high-end restaurants ahead. If Chu Feng guessed correctly, Lu Qingqing probably wanted to bring her daughter over to buy some snacks. As soon as Chu Feng walked to the corner, he noticed that the girl seemed very excited and curious about her surroundings. She looked around, with a lingering light in her eyes, and accidentally caught sight of Chu Feng. The girl suddenly became even more excited and happy. She turned around and made a cute face at Chu Feng. At that moment, Nanny Li answered the phone. "President, there's something urgent at home. Can I take a leave of absence?" "Okay, if you have any urgent matters, just go back first. I'll take the girl home later." Aunt Li thanked her and hurried back. The girl has a tacit understanding with Chu Feng, making faces at each other, coming and going. It's not a pleasure. She didn't mention the presence of Chu Feng, but Aunt Li instinctively reminded Lu Qingqing. Lu Qingqing looked back with some surprise and some panic. She looked at Chu Feng, who interacted well with her daughter, and bit her lip, asking, "You? Why did you come?" P.S. Old Time men. The first day is very important. Whether this book can survive depends on the data of the old iron workers. A flower, an evaluation, a comment, and a reward are all great support for the author Junmo. I beg for the support of the old iron workers. The author June is very grateful. Author June is so miserable. He originally collected 10,000 on the first day, but was reported by other authors who were envious and needed to resend the book. Ask the old irons to continue to support the humble authors. Chapter 6. With a net worth of billions, return to the wealthy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Do you want to hear the truth or lie? Chu Feng asked without answering. People who have a slight understanding of picking up girls will not foolishly ask and answer questions. In that case, people will only think you are foolish and uninteresting. What kind of truth or falsehood? Although Lu Qingqing doesn't want to be admitted, she knows that whether she admits it or not, Chu Feng is the most handsome man she has ever seen. Moreover, there is an unchangeable fact that Chu Feng is her man, the only man. He is also the biological father of 6 daughters. My 6 daughters are all 4 years old now. Also starting, we need to go to kindergarten. Previously, Lu Qingqing took 6 daughters to a kindergarten to try out a class. Daughters, looking at other children, they all have dads. Everyone is flocking to her for her dad, asking her where she hid their dad. Lu Qingqing didn't tell the truth, just said that their father works outside and earns money for them to buy clothes, food, and things. Every time they ask, when will dad come back? Lu Qingqing said it's coming soon and will be back in a while. She just thought that being able to drag on for a day would be a day. Today, my sixth daughter, Nan, was playing in the community when she met a chubby little guy who lived in the same community and was in the same grade as her. Both sides have met since kindergarten and have also encountered many times in the community. That bare child, mocking a girl for not having a father. So the girl begged Aunt Lee to take her to the company and asked her father again when he would be back. Nan wants to bring her father to the community and tell little Fatty that she has a father. As a mother, Lu Qingqing also knows her daughter's thoughts. So when she was in the CEO's office, she was very conflicted and kept hesitating to speak. Until now, she has not fully made up her mind. Chu Feng nodded to Aunt Lee, who greeted him, and walked up to Lu Qingqing and the girl. To be honest, I'll just wander around casually. Anyway, this isn't your home, so you don't care where I want to go. After a pause, Chu Feng said again. To be honest, of course I came specifically to accompany my precious daughter. Chu Feng bent down and held the pink jade-carved little loli in his arms. The little girl didn't cry or make a fuss, looking at Chu Feng with a smiling face. Dad. Dad. Are you really my dad? Great, great. A girl is not a child without a father, she also has a father. Lu Qingqing couldn't bear to snatch her daughter from Chu Feng's arms as she watched her daughter's ecstatic and joyful appearance. Daughters cannot live without their fathers. Chu Feng's family has gone bankrupt and seems to have become more stable than before. Let them spend a brief time together, father and daughter, as if testing Chu Feng. Give yourself and him a chance. Thinking of this, Lu Qingqing immediately told her daughter. Girl, just play here. Mom, go to the restroom and come back soon. Chu Feng, could you please help me take care of the girl? Lu Qingqing didn't really go to the restroom, she still doesn't trust Chu Feng. Walking to a corner next to him, he hid and secretly observed Chu Feng and his daughter. At this moment, a man with oily hair and pink face walked quickly. Qingqing, we are so destined to meet here. Hello, Manager Wu. Lu Qingqing turned a blind eye to the hand that Manager Wu had reached out and nodded lightly, as if he had said hello. This situation has happened many times, and Manager Wu doesn't mind either. Qingqing, it's almost noon. Let's have a meal together here. No need, I have something else to do. Qingqing, your company's lease has expired, and as you mentioned before, we also need to have a good discussion about opening a specialty store in our Yida Plaza. Manager Wu looked at Lu Qingqing with a burning gaze and said again. Qingqing, I will definitely help you with our relationship. It's just that the general manager is having some trouble. We need to find a place to sit down and make a good total. In Lu Qingqing's eyes, a hint of disgust flashed. This oily and powdery property manager has been pursuing her for a long time. She has clearly refused, but the other party has been persistent. Qingqing Beauty Clothing Company, after all, is renting here, and it's not easy for Lu Qingqing to move directly. I just hope that Manager Wu can give up on his own and not harass him again. However, I didn't expect this person to repeatedly invite me with ill intentions. Even threatening oneself with business matters is despicable and shameless. At this moment, my daughter's crisp voice rang out not far away. I saw a girl carved in powder and jade, holding 2 ice creams in her hand. Mom. Mom. Dad bought ice cream for both of us. Chu Feng, who was following his daughter step by step, suddenly heard the pleasant sound of the system. Host, congratulations. All the procedures have been completed. You have obtained the investment company of Yida Plaza, ranked 98th among the top 500 companies in China and worth 136.8 billion yuan, with 80% of the shares. All documents are currently in the general manager's office of Yida Plaza, where the host is located. TSK 80% of 136.8 billion. Chu Feng calculated and found that his net worth had reached 109.44 billion. With a net worth of over 100 billion, Chu Feng once again became a truly wealthy person. Even richer than before. Chapter 7. Is too much. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Previously, Chu Feng was the only son of Chu Tianhao, the richest man in Yangcheng, and his father was wealthy at that time. But after all, it's dad's money, not entirely his own. Now it's different. 80% of the shares in Yida Plaza Investment Company, worth over 100 billion yuan, all belong to oneself. The whole Yida Plaza Investment Company is equal to its own the final say. The current feeling is more fulfilling than the son of the richest man before. Just as Chu Feng was experiencing this refreshing feeling, the oily and powdery manager in front of him, Mr. Wu, had a somewhat unpleasant expression. His father is a small director of the headquarters. He was thrown here this year to learn something and gain more qualifications. In the future, it's better to get him to the headquarters. Of course, this is one of the reasons. Another reason is that this guy took advantage of his position at Yida Plaza in another first-tier city to make a secretary's belly bigger. As a result, the secretary's husband discovered and caused quite a stir. The father of manager Wu's junior director has repeatedly instructed and explained. At the beginning, he was still able to control himself. Over time, it gradually exposed its true nature. However, he unexpectedly discovered that there was a noble and beautiful long-legged beauty, CEO Lu Qingqing, in the Yida Square here. He was amazed at first sight and made up his mind to get it. Strive to maintain a gentlemanly demeanor, hoping to catch up with Lu Qingqing. However, as time passed and Lu Qingqing repeatedly refused, he gradually became impatient. This Lu Qingqing, last time she lied to me that she had a daughter, and she was still 6 sextuplets, how could this be possible? Now, even worse, not only have we a daughter, but also a husband. But I have found out clearly. Lu Qingqing is clean and self-disciplined, and has never had a boyfriend. Where is the husband and daughter from? These two people must have been actors hired by Lu Qingqing to refuse him. Manager Wu Tian took another look at the actors Chu Feng and Nan Nan. Previously, it was because he had enlarged his secretary's belly that he became disheveled. So, even for the pink-carved and jade-carved little lowly girls, he extremely dislikes them. Watching the girl happily holding 2 ice creams, she ran to Lu Qingqing. He impatiently rebuked in a cold voice, "Where did the little kid come from?" Immediately afterwards, he looked at Chu Feng following behind the girl and sneered. You still look like a dog. Tell me, how much did Lu Qingqing hire you for? I'll give you double. A little lowly girl with 2 ponytails, only 4 years old this year. She is clever and cute. But after all, he is still a 4-year-old child. Being scolded so coldly by Wu Tian immediately scared me a bit. Xiao Qiong's nose slightly wrinkled, and her big eyes were full of confusion and grievances. Crystal tears swirled in the eyes. If it weren't for her cleverness, she would be a thoughtful little cotton jacket. I don't want my mother to worry, let alone my father who finally appeared in front of her, to see her crying. I'm afraid the tears in her eyes have long been streaming down. And the way she tried to hold back from crying made Lu Qingqing, who had raised her 6 daughters alone, feel heartbroken. For the sake of the company, Lu Qingqing, who originally did not want to conflict with Wu Tian, was furious at this moment. She quickly hugged her daughter and stared at Wu Tian beside her in a stern tone. Wu Tian, you're going too far. This is my daughter. What are you short reprimanding her for? Wu Tian disapproved and said, Qingqing, I already knew your information. You don't have to lie to me. This is not your daughter at all, and you don't have a boyfriend either. Actually, I have been deeply in love with you since the first time I saw you. Be my girlfriend, I promise I will treat you well. Okay, Grandpa. Chu Feng instinctively took 2 slow steps because he heard the system prompt just now. Pay attention to the system and temporarily overlook the daughter. I didn't expect my precious daughter to be scolded in such an instant. Chu Feng looked at Lu Qingqing's embrace, tears swirling in his eyes, trying to hold back the girl who had not cried. An unprecedented raging anger burned fiercely in Chu Feng's heart. He didn't want to, he flew up and kicked Wu Tian hard in the waist. Ah! Wu Tian was immediately kicked out and fell to the ground, screaming in agony. Chu Feng didn't look at him, but carefully looked at his daughter, whose blood was thicker than water and bones connected to flesh. Girl, are you okay? Dad, the girl is fine. Xiaoyulai looked eagerly at Chu Feng, and she extended her small lotus arm, quickly wiping away the tears from the corners of her eyes. Dad, do you think girls are not good and don't like them anymore? Will you never come to see girls again? P.S. The humble author is seeking support online. Chapter 8. This is truly the best woman. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The little loli, carved with powder and jade, had a pleading expression in her eyes. Chu Feng, who has 6 daughters of his own and is all 4 years old. It is only today that I have the feeling of being a father. Responsibility, joy, concern, affection. Chu Feng took a step forward and touched the little girl's head, spoiling her and saying, "The girl is so well behaved and strong, and my dad likes her so much. In the future, my dad won't leave anymore and will be with you every day, really." Dad. Xiaoyulai saw Chu Feng nod and immediately laughed uncontrollably. Mom. Mom. Dad will never leave us again in the future. Lu Qingqing's emotions were complex, and as she watched her daughter's ecstasy, she didn't pour cold water. She nodded gently towards her daughter. Then, Lu Qingqing looked at the handsome and extraordinary Chu Feng, who had become her man 5 years ago. Chu Feng, hurry up and leave. Wu Tian is the manager here at Yida Square. The security guards here must have listened to him. It's dangerous for you to stay here, listen to me and leave quickly. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Chu Feng spent money like dirt, indulged in extravagance, and admired this stunning clean beauty. He originally just wanted her to be his canary. Now, something has happened. I didn't expect this person who became his own woman 5 years ago to become nervous and worried about himself. To be honest, I lived a life of being a wealthy person. Chu Feng can see through more thoroughly than ordinary people. Many people have good relationships with him because he has money. Once he runs out of money, those people are afraid of borrowing money from them. Avoiding oneself is like a plague. Lu Qingqing's performance at this moment moved Chu Feng involuntarily. This is truly a top-notch woman. Chu Feng whispered in secret and then smiled at Lu Qingqing. So this thing, is it the manager of Yida Plaza? I heard that the manager of Yida Plaza has harassed you many times. Is that who he is talking about? Humph, dare to hit my woman's attention. Are you looking for death? Worried about Chu Feng's impulsiveness, Lu Qingqing once again beat up Wu Tian and quickly hugged the little girl Luoli, blocking Chu Feng's body. Chu Feng, please calm down. He is the manager here, this is their territory, you will suffer losses here. If it were in the past, Chu Feng's family had not yet gone bankrupt. At this moment, Lu Qingqing is not worried about what danger Chu Feng may face. But now, a wealthy second generation who has gone bankrupt and needs to find a job. Even if one's current status was impressive, no one would care about it now. It is even possible to deliberately humiliate and bully Chu Feng, who used to have a strong identity. Anyway, Lu Qingqing occasionally sees this kind of plot in some soap operas. In Lu Qingqing's heart, Chu Feng is still very complex at present. She is a conservative girl, and what happened back then was more of an accident after her emotions almost collapsed. Chu Feng is already her man, and she doesn't want or can't accept another man. However, she still remembers the scene when Chu Feng threw her a bank card back then. It may be deeply ingrained, or it may be unforgettable. Anyway, over the past 5 years, Lu Qingqing has often thought of Chu Feng. In recent years, she has put in a lot of effort and now she finally has her own company. Everything is developing in a positive direction. Currently, there are 2 things that are most important to her. One thing is that the company is developing rapidly and continuing to expand more and better specialty stores. Build your own brand, expand your influence, develop and grow, and earn more money. Let my 6 precious daughters, as well as my mother, live a better life. And another thing is the issue with the daughter's father. Lu Qingqing knew that even if she could earn more money, provide better material conditions for your daughter. However, the role of dad cannot be replaced. As the daughters grow up day by day, this matter becomes even more urgent. Chu Feng's appearance today caught Lu Qingqing off guard and panicked, but at the same time, she was also very surprised. We cannot let our daughter's long-awaited father have an accident. Besides, it's still in front of my daughter. Thinking of this, Lu Qingqing quickly pushed Chu Feng and gestured for him to leave quickly. At the same time, Wu Tian collapsed on the ground and shouted. "Trough, do you really dare to hit me? Do you know who I am? Today, I'm going to make you kneel at my feet and call Dad. P.S. Looking for flower evaluation support." Chapter 9. He is the manager, I am the chairman. You are listening at novel full.audio. Chu Feng smiled. Previously, he was the richest son of Yangcheng, and no one around him dared to offend him. Even later, the family went bankrupt. At most, the people around them are avoiding themselves. Except for a few mentally disabled individuals, the rest of the people still dare not disobey themselves. Knowing people knows their faces but not their hearts, what would happen if they carried themselves behind their backs? Chu Feng doesn't know. But in front of oneself, there are not many people who dare to disrespect and write about the top 2nd generation of wealthy people. And this little manager who emerged from nowhere is not even qualified to enter the circle of top-tier wealthy 2nd generation. Surprisingly speaking disrespectfully of oneself. More importantly, this guy actually scared his precious daughter. Based on this, Chu Feng won't let him off lightly. Qingqing, you've seen it too. It's this despicable act of seeking death on your own, it's not my fault. The beautiful CEO noticed that Chu Feng wanted to continue beating Wu Tian. She hugged the little lowly girl and quickly stopped her. If it were in the past, as the son of the richest man, Chu Feng would not have suffered losses in Yangcheng. But now that Chu Feng's family has gone bankrupt, Lu Qingqing is worried that Chu Feng will have trouble. Occasionally, she watches some soap operas, in which there are top-tier 2nd generation wealthy people who are once down and out. Then the tiger fell and was bullied by the dog. After all, he is his only man, the father of his 6 daughters. Even if Lu Qingqing had a complicated mood towards Chu Feng, she did not want Chu Feng to encounter any unexpected events or be hurt in front of her. Chu Feng, hurry up and leave. Wu Tian is the manager of Yida Plaza. When those security guards come later, you won't be able to leave. More than 10 meters behind Luqing City. Wu Tian fell to the ground, rubbing his waist and looking at Chu Feng with resentment. Want to run? I'm telling you, you can't run. I have already had someone notify the security guard. Wait a moment, how miserable it is for you to kick me, I'll make you 10 times and 100 times more miserable than me. Humph, then you'll just kneel at my feet and call me Dad, and I won't let you go. Lu Qingqing frowned slightly, looking back at Wu Tian like she was about to say something. At this moment, taking advantage of Lu Qingqing's distraction, Chu Feng dodged around the beautiful CEO and quickly charged towards Wu Tian. Meanwhile, tell Lu Qingqing. Wu Tian is the manager of Yida Plaza, and I am also the chairman of Yida Plaza. Chu Feng is telling the truth, but Lu Qingqing doesn't believe it at all at this moment. The chairman of Yida Plaza. His net worth is not just billions. How could you possibly apply for the position of general manager in your own small company? In Lu Qingqing's heart, she couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed with herself as the only man. How can you be a good father to girls by boasting so much? Besides, he can easily hit people. Thinking of hitting someone, Lu Qingqing quickly shook his head. It's not Chu Feng's fault for this. I wanted to smoke Wu Tian just now. As a father of a girl, Chu Feng was angry and furious when he saw Wu Tian scolding her for no reason. He instinctively protected his daughter, which is what a father should do. Upon this thought, Lu Qingqing developed a good impression of Chu Feng. And more than 10 meters away, Wu Tian lay on the ground, nagging and nagging. Watching Chu Feng rush towards him, he looked shocked. Don't come over. The security guard is coming soon. If you dare to hit me again, you'll be dead. Not only you, but also your family and friends will all feel extremely miserable because of you. At that time, you will just kneel at my feet and call me Dad. Before Wu Tian could finish roaring, Chu Feng had already rushed in front of him. I'll make you call yourself Dad now. Chu Feng lightning kicked Wu Tian hard in the mouth. A muffled sound that made one's teeth ache. Wu Tian's 2 front teeth were directly kicked and broken by Chu Feng. Ah! My teeth! Wu Tian, who was missing 2 teeth, began to speak fluently. I'm going to kill you, kill you. Chu Feng felt Wu Tian's crazy scream, which frightened his precious daughter Nan. She frowned slightly and kicked Wu Tian, who was screaming, hard again. Another muffled sound that made one's teeth ache. A more mournful scream soon sounded. Wu Tianyan watched as Chu Feng approached again. He was terrified beyond measure. Don't hit me. Dad. Dad. I called you Dad, I beg you not to hit me. Wu Tian is afraid that he will be killed by Chu Feng like this. Hurriedly kneel on the ground and call out Daddy. Chu Feng looked at Wu Tian with blood all over his head and face, looking disgusted. Grass, don't dirty my shoes. You really shut up for me. I only have 6 daughters, but I don't have an unfilial son as big as you. Chu Feng kicked Wu Tian, who was calling out his father, to the ground with a disdainful expression on his face, and then he stepped on Wu Tian's face, making it impossible for the slutty Wu Tian to continue nagging. At this moment, Chu Feng's phone rang. A middle-aged man respectfully said, Chairman, where are you? I am Li Mingkai, General Manager of Yida Plaza on Chaoyang Road in Yangcheng. Some relevant documents and information are all here, Chairman, can I deliver it specifically to you now? P.S. Thanks to Feilong for the reward of 200 golden bull and old iron in the world. Thank Lao Tai for coming here and rewarding again. The author June is very grateful. I feel a little heavy after being attacked by my peers. I will make up the update as soon as possible. Lao Tai can rest assured. Chapter 10. Dad, run. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chu Feng told Li Mingkai about his current position. At this moment, everyone around was shocked and bewildered. They all felt that the handsome and extraordinary Chu Feng was really a ruthless person. However, at this moment, they did not feel afraid of Chu Feng, nor did they have any sympathy for the extremely miserable Wu Tian. The people around are mostly young and beautiful women from nearby specialty stores. I have long been harassed by Wu Tian before, and I am very annoyed with him. At this moment, seeing Wu Tian's pitiful appearance, I secretly thought to myself that he deserved it. It was very satisfying. Meanwhile, appearance is justice. They couldn't help but have some concerns about Chu Feng. I just feel that if Chu Feng offends manager Wu Tian, it will definitely be very unfortunate in the future. Even the beautiful CEO Lu Qingqing and her precious daughter Nan believe the same. Chu Feng, that's enough. Take advantage of the security guard not coming, you go quickly. I will find a solution to this matter, you leave immediately. In Lu Qingqing's arms, the little lowly girl, carved with powder and jade, also said. Dad, run quickly. Those bad guys are coming soon. Dad, run quickly. One is a beautiful woman who is willing to resist things on her own and is increasingly stunning. One is the intimate little cotton jacket that connects blood and bones, my precious little daughter. Chu Feng smiled at the two of them and said, Don't worry, I have a plan in mind. Chu Feng, listen to me and don't be stubborn, said Lu Qingqing with a look of resentment on his face. Wu Tian is the manager of Yida Plaza, and it is said that his father is also a director of Yida Plaza. They won't spare you lightly if you're here. Listen to me, let's go. Chu Feng's two big hands touched the heads of the two beautiful women in front of him, one big and one small. Manager. Director. It's a bit interesting. Lu Qingqing's pretty face was inexplicable with cold frost and anger, and her hatred was not tempered. Chu Feng, when has it been? Why are you so unstable? Look at those security guards coming. If you don't leave, there won't be enough time. Xiaoyulai Nannan also followed suit and said, Yes, Dad, you go quickly. Nannan doesn't want bad people to harm Dad. Chu Feng indulgently rubbed the heads of both of them and smiled, saying. Qingqing, Nannan, let me tell you a secret. In fact, I am truly the absolute controlling shareholder of Yida Plaza Investment Company and the new chairman of the company. Okay. Chu Feng, I believe you can do it now. You go. If you don't leave, it's really too late. Lu Qingqing saw more than 10 strong security guards charging towards him in the distance. She became even more anxious. Little lowly girl, the same goes for her. Today is her first time seeing her father. The joy in my heart is unprecedented. She also followed her mother and urged Chu Feng to leave together. Chu Feng smiled and touched the heads of the two beautiful women, big and small, with his big hands. What I'm saying is true, I'm really the chairman of Yida Plaza Investment Company. I said I believe you, you go. That's right, Dad. The girl also believes in you. You go quickly. Chu Feng didn't know what to say to these two beautiful women, big and small. Anyway, General Manager Li Mingkai will arrive soon. Let's wait a while, let's talk about it when Li Ming arrives. Under Chu Feng's feet, Wu Tian, who was extremely miserable, also noticed a group of security guards rushing towards him. In order to calm the situation, Lu Qingqing begged Chu Feng to lift his noble foot high, and Wu Tian, who was secretly stomped on by Chu Feng again, was able to breathe heavily. Manager, what happened? The security captain quickly came to Wu Tian's side and helped him up. It hurts. It hurts me so much. Are you all idiots? Can't you see anyone committing murder here? Hurry up, hit him. Kill him. The security captain knows that Wu Tian's father is a director of the headquarters, and he dare not offend him. Quickly summon a group of security guards and head towards Chu Feng Wei. What are you doing? The beautiful CEO looked at these security guards and wanted to harm Chu Feng, his only man and also his daughter's father. She suddenly burst into a powerful aura. Over the past 5 years, she has taken care of her mother who underwent surgery and raised 6 daughters. In addition, we also need to start a business and earn money to buy milk powder. Lu Qingqing experienced difficulties that ordinary people could not imagine. Fortunately, her abilities are remarkable, and now she can be considered to have come through all the hardships. She is a conservative person who has become a woman of Chu Feng and cannot accept other men anymore. However, whether or not to be with Chu Feng has not been decided yet by Lu Qingqing. Anyway, Chu Feng is her daughter's biological father. Lu Qingqing would never watch helplessly, his own man and his daughter's father. In front of oneself, being hurt by outsiders.